56 missed calls. That is exactly how many times my mother and sister tried to reach me in the span of 40 minutes. But I am getting ahead of myself. Let's go back to the moment I realized my entire existence was a joke to them. It was 2 p.m. on a Friday. The air conditioning in the Sapphire Bay Resort lobby was freezing, but my face felt like it was on fire. I stood there, clutching the handle of my Toomey suitcase, watching the front desk clerk type furiously on his keyboard. He stopped. He frowned. He typed again. The silence was loud. Behind me, families were laughing. Ice was clinking in glasses. But in my little circle of hell, everything had gone quiet. The clerk looked up. He had that look, the pity look. He cleared his throat and said, "Ms. Parker, I am sorry. I have checked 3 times. There is no reservation under your name." I felt my stomach drop through the floor. I turned to my right. Sitting at the lobby bar, not 10 feet away, were my parents, Tom and Carol, and my sister Maddie. They were already drinking. My mom was nursing a pink cocktail, refusing to look at me. My dad was staring at the football game on the TV, like his life depended on it. "Mom," I asked. My voice sounded small. I hated how small it sounded. "Did you put me on the list?" That was when Maddie spun around on her bar stool. Maddie, my older sister. The internet knows her as Maddie Gray Lifestyle, the Austin momfluencer who preaches about mindful living and aesthetic motherhood. She adjusted her oversized sunglasses, looked me up and down, and smirked. It was a cruel, practiced smirk. She said, all loud enough for the couple standing behind me to hear, "Oh, Liv, we only reserved rooms for real family." The air left my lungs. Real family. My mother finally looked up. She did not look sorry, she looked annoyed. She swirled her straw and said, "Olivia, stop making a face. You are a tech executive. You make 6 figures. We figured you would want your own space. We are on a budget, and the package only covered the family. You can figure it out." The clerk behind me whispered, "Ma'am, we are fully booked. The only thing left is the presidential suite at $2,500 a night." Maddie laughed. It was a sharp, jagged sound. "See? Perfect for her. She is the rich one, right? Go on, Olivia. Flex that credit card." I looked at them. I looked at the people who had raised me. I looked at the sister whose mortgage I had secretly helped pay 3 times in the last 2 years. They were waiting for me to cave. They were waiting for me to pull out my black card, smile, and fix the problem. That is what Olivia always does. Olivia's the fixer. Olivia's the bank. But something inside me snapped. It was not a loud snap. It was quiet. It was the sound of a bridge burning. I tightened my grip on my suitcase. I looked the clerk in the eye. My voice came out steady, cold as ice. I said, "No, I will not be staying." My dad finally looked away from the TV. "Olivia, do not be dramatic. Sit down and have a drink." I did not answer. I did not look back. I turned around and walked. The sound of my heels clicking on the marble floor echoed like gunshots. "Olivia!" my mom hissed. "Olivia, get back here! You are embarrassing us!" I kept walking, through the automatic doors, into the blinding California sun, into the back of a waiting Uber. And that is when the phone started ringing. I watched the resort disappear in the rearview mirror. My hands were shaking, not from fear, from rage, pure, cold rage. My phone screen lit up. Mom, decline. Maddie, decline. Dad, decline. Mom again, voicemail. The text started rolling in. Mom, you are buying selfish. Come back. Maddie, stop acting like a child. We need you to pay for the extra room. Jason's card got declined. Dad, pick up the phone, Olivia, now. I stared at the messages. Jason's card got declined. Of course it did. Because Jason, my brother-in-law, does not actually make money. He just plays a successful real estate agent on Instagram. My family's entire lifestyle was a house of cards, and I was the one holding the glue. But not today. I opened my contacts. I scrolled past Mom and Dad. I scrolled all the way down to Grandpa Edward, Grandpa Ed, the patriarch, the man who made a fortune in commercial real estate in the 80s and then retired to Scottsdale to play chess and manage the Collins family trust. The trust that paid for my parents' country club membership, the trust that paid for Maddie's perfect life. He picked up on the first ring. Olivia, you are supposed to be on vacation. Is everything all right? His voice was warm but sharp. He always knew when something was wrong. No, Grandpa, I said. I'm at the airport. Why? Because there was no room for me. Maddie said they only booked rooms for real family. Silence. Dead silence on the other end of the line. Grandpa Ed does not get angry. He gets quiet, and that is terrifying. Repeat that, he said. His voice dropped an octave. Word for word. What did your sister say? I told him. I told him everything. The smirk. The clerk. The fact that they expected me to pay $5,000 for a weekend where I wasn't even wanted. I see, he said. And where are they now? At the bar, charging drinks to the room account. The account you pay for. I heard the sound of a heavy leather book closing on his desk. Go home, Olivia. Go back to Seattle. Do not answer their calls. I will handle this. Grandpa, please don't start a fight, I whispered. I just want to be done. Oh, there will be no fight, my dear, he said. And I could practically hear the cold smile in his voice. A fight implies they have a chance of winning. This is going to be an eviction. I flew back to Seattle. I ordered a pizza. I sat in my dark condo, looking out at the rain. At 8 p.m. sharp, a notification popped up on my laptop. Subject: Mandatory Family Meeting. Host: Edward Collins. I clicked the link. The screen split into 4 boxes. Box 1. Grandpa Ed. He was sitting in his study, wearing a suit. He looked like a judge about to pass a death sentence. Box 2. My parents. They were in their hotel room, looking flushed and nervous. My dad was pacing. Box 3. Maddie and Jason. They were sitting on a hotel bed. Maddie's eyes were puffy. She had clearly been crying. Box 4. Me. Silent. Calm. Let's make this quick, Grandpa said. No pleasantries. No hello. Dad, honestly, my mom started, her voice high and pitchy. This is ridiculous. Olivia overreacted. We were just joking with her. You know how sensitive she gets. Sensitive? Grandpa repeated. He adjusted his glasses. I just got off the phone with the general manager of the Sapphire Bay Resort. A lovely man. He sent me the security footage from the lobby. My mother went pale. Maddie gasped. I watched it, Grandpa continued. I watched my daughter and my son-in-law turn their backs on their own child. I watched my granddaughter humiliate her sister for sport, and I heard the audio. Real family. That was the phrase, correct? It was a joke, Maddie screamed. Grandpa, you are ruining our trip over a stupid joke. The trip is over, Madison, Grandpa said. I canceled the cards an hour ago. Jason looked up, panic in his eyes. Wait, what? We have a dinner reservation at Nobu in 20 minutes. You will not be making that reservation, Grandpa said. So, unless you're paying cash. But we all know you don't have any cash, do you, Jason? Jason looked down at his lap. Grandpa held up a document. This is the deed to the Collins Family Trust. For 30 years, I have used this money to support you. I paid for your houses, your cars, your private schools. I did it because I thought I was building a legacy. He ripped the paper in half. The sound was incredibly loud in the silence of the Zoom call. I was wrong. I was funding a nest of vipers. Dad, stop, my father begged. Please, we have the mortgage, the HOA fees, the car payments. Not my problem, Grandpa said. As of tonight, I am stepping down as trustee. I am too old for this nonsense. Who is taking over? Mom asked, her voice trembling. Who is going to manage the distributions? Grandpa looked directly into the camera lens. He looked right at me. Olivia is. I felt my heart skip a beat. I saw Maddie's jaw drop. Olivia! Maddie shrieked. She hates us. She will cut us off. She would be within her rights, Grandpa said calmly. Olivia is now the sole trustee of the Collins family estate. She has full discretion. She decides who gets paid. She decides who gets cut. And she decides who is real family. He looked at me. Olivia, the login credentials have been sent to your secure email. The accounts are yours to command. Good night. He ended the call. His box went black. For 10 seconds, nobody spoke. My family stared at me. The dynamic had shifted so violently, the room was spinning. I was no longer the scapegoat. I was the gatekeeper. Liv, my mom whispered. Sweetie, you know we love you, right? I reached out and pressed the end meeting button. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. But in my case, revenge was a spreadsheet. I spent the next weekend going through the trust's finances. It was worse than I thought. My parents were bleeding the fund dry. $4,000 a month for a country club they visited twice a year. $2,000 for aesthetic maintenance, which I realized was my mother's Botox and filler fund. And Maddie. Oh, Maddie. Her entire career was a lie. The luxury trips, paid by Grandpa. The designer bags, charged to the corporate card. Her daughter's private school tuition, automatically deducted from the trust. She wasn't a successful influencer. She was a welfare queen in a Gucci belt. I started clicking buttons. Country club membership canceled. Porsche lease, auto pay canceled. Monthly stipend, Madison Gray, suspended. Monthly stipend, Thomas and Carol Parker, suspended. I didn't cut them off completely. I'm not a monster. I left the health insurance. I left the basic utility bills. But the lifestyle, the luxury, that was gone. The fallout was immediate. 3 days later, Maddie posted a story on Instagram. She was crying, no filter. Guys, we are going through a really hard transition right now. We have to move out of the dream house. Sometimes the universe tests you. She didn't mention that the universe was her little sister. Jason called me. He was crying too. Olivia, please, the bank is coming for the car. I can't show up to client meetings in a Honda Civic. It ruins my brand. Then sell a house, Jason, I said. Earn a commission. That is how the rest of us buy cars. My dad sent me an email. No subject line. Just a photo of a budget worksheet. He had listed golf under essentials. I circled it in red, wrote no, and sent it back. It was brutal. It was chaotic. And it was the first time in my life I felt completely at peace. I walked into the restaurant for Thanksgiving dinner. Grandpa Ed was already there, sitting at the head of the table. He winked at me. My parents were there too. They looked different. My mom was wearing a dress from Macy's, not Neiman Marcus. Her face moved when she smiled. The Botox had worn off. My dad was actually talking to me, asking about my job, about the market. He wasn't looking at his phone. Maddie and Jason arrived last. They didn't have the Porsche anymore. They drove a used Toyota. Maddie wasn't filming. Her phone was in her purse. She looked tired, but she also looked real. Hi, Liv, Maddie said. She didn't hug me. We aren't there yet. But she looked me in the eye. Thanks for inviting us. It's Thanksgiving, I said. Family eats together. We sat down. The food was simple. No catered chef this year. Mom cooked. It tasted better. Halfway through the meal, Grandpa tapped his glass. I would like to propose a toast, he said. Everyone froze. My dad looked nervous. To Olivia, Grandpa said, for teaching this family the value of $1 and the value of a seat at the table. My mother looked down at her plate. I'm sorry, Olivia, she whispered. For San Diego, for everything. I know, Mom, I said, and for the first time, I believed her. I took a sip of my wine. The trust was still frozen. I wasn't going to turn the money back on. Not yet. Maybe not ever. They were learning to survive on their own. They were becoming better people because they had to be. I looked around the table. No reservations, no fake smiles. Just people eating turkey and worrying about electric bills. Finally, we were a real family. See, if you are listening to this and you feel like the outsider in your own home, if you are the one always picking up the check, always fixing the mess, always apologizing for taking up space, Stop.
Luống hoa oải hương
Pack
tím
your
đậm sóng
suitcase.
hoa và vượt
Walk
quê
out of the lobby.
cảm giác thơm ngát.
And remember, you don't owe anyone a reservation in your life if they don't know how to treat you like a guest. My name is Olivia Parker, and I am finally checking in.